Happy Wednesday. Welcome to 1 Million Cups, caffeinating entrepreneurs in New York City and beyond every Wednesday of the month. Actually, now it's every weekly. So the third week is hybrid in Queens. So yeah, we can all introduce ourselves. Ying, do you want to go first?
Oh, hi, my name is Ying. I work at Tech Incubator at Queens College. We help early stage entrepreneurs start and grow their businesses. Dawn?
Hi, I'm Dawn Kelly, founder and CEO of the Nourish Bot and PR Maven. I can get you healthy and help you promote your business.
Awesome. Ariel?
Yeah, hi. First of all, Dawn, I don't know if you saw I tagged you in something, but we'll talk about that later. I'm Ariel Serber, financial advisor within a firm called Lions Financial. We work with businesses and professionals, but in the business context, we help with risk management, employee benefits, consulting around capital raising and all that kind of good stuff. Jacob, why don't you go ahead?
All righty. Hello, everyone. My name is Jacob Elyashar. I'm the chief content producer and writer of jake-shake.com. I'm also the host of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyashar podcast. And also I work with the Jewish Family Services of Greater Kansas City. And I'm in Overland. I'm one of the remote hosts, organizers. I'm based in Overland Park, Kansas. Who's left?
Shane and Katie. Shane, are you there?
He said his audio is spotty. He put his
All right.
information in the chat.
Okay. Katie, then.
Yeah, I'm an author, poet, advocate, creativity coach, and social entrepreneur. I have a podcast and a boutique, and some of my favorite work I do is suicide prevention work. So yeah, that's all of us.
Somebody needs to mute.
Yeah, I'm muting everybody. All right, Katie, you can continue.
Yeah, we can go to the next slide. So the Kauffman Foundation. The Kauffman Foundation works with communities in entrepreneurship and education to increase opportunities that allow all people to learn, to take risks, and to own their success. Take risks, own success, be uncommon. So the mission for 1 Million Cups is to lower the barrier of access to education, resources, and connection for all types of new and aspiring entrepreneurs throughout the United States. And the national and local mission is to work toward the mission by creating a consistent educational experience for each 1 Million Cup presenter nationwide, while also highlighting the uniqueness and value proposition in each local startup community. So the key pillars are presentations, not pitches, authentic connections, not networking, run for the community, by the community, and it's radically and inclusively different. So the core program is held on Wednesday mornings, 2 presenters with 6-minute presentations and 20 minutes of Q&A, and presenting businesses are less than 5 years old and desire to learn. Sometimes it could be over 5 years old if they had a significant pivot in their business. Finish each Q&A with the question, what can we as a community do to help you? And it's always free, open to the public, and in hybrid with free coffee. So to apply to present, can you mute?
Can someone mute?
Thank you so much. Thank you. So to apply to present, it's not a sales pitch and it's not an investor's pitch. The goal is to have people understand what you do and some of the challenges you have had in building your business. The communities that are less than 5 years old and open to community engagement can apply to present at 1 Million Cups. All industries welcome, and you can apply at this link. So you can check in on the mobile app and give feedback to presenters and organizers. So here are the details on how to check in.
Okay, so we're going to.
So first up, we have Abby Duran from VeraNation.
And I don't know if Gadiel is on, but that's the second speaker we have today.
Oh, awesome.
All right, okay. So,
And you can follow us at 1 million cups New York City, just the acronym, and complete the survey on social in Zoom chat to help our founders connect.
right. Okay, so we can start, I think. So Abby, would you like to start?
Yep, given that going. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me. I'm currently based in Charleston, South Carolina. I do a lot of traveling to New York. But first of all, I wanted to ask how many of you, I know it's virtual, but you can raise your hands if you've had trouble just editing or writing a paper, or let alone sitting down to be like, what is exactly who I am and how do I do this in general? Yeah, so most of us. Absolutely. But what if I told you that throughout your narrative, throughout all the context that you have to do, whether it's through your brand or your craft or just your passion project, all that can be formulated into one story. Now, what I mean by that is that your verbiage can be formulated into kind of a storytelling sales. And not necessarily in the means of getting generational income. It's more of just connecting the right traffic flow and the right audience. So how necessarily do we do that? Well, in one session, I can tackle all your content. And as in addition to your content, I look at your overall social media, web design. I look at all that because even the visuals need to match the verbiage content. Copywriting, professional biographies, which is more narration's my niche. So this is where we can get to know the real you and your business. Obviously, doing a little bit of marketing and advertising, editing blogs, articles, things like that, and overall general editing. And again, this is all in one session. And what I mean by one session is that by the time I sit down and chat with you, whether it's through tea or phone or video, I can already formulate a story of who you are and who your brand is. And out of that, we can tackle all this. And in order for me to do that, I need to step into your shoes. I need to know who you are. Again, I need to be able to bring your industry into a relatable audience and open the door for new audience members and find a way to make you more relatable. And I'm a firm believer that storytelling sells. And I'll give some examples on this later. Also, time efficiency. And what I mean by that is, again, tackling everything and all in that one session of what you need in all your verbiage content. And when it comes to numbers, there's always a story in the numbers. So if you're struggling and you got everything down, and this is a great example for nonprofits, when they look at their financial statements and they see what they need help on or what needs work on, well, we can look at those quarterly numbers, and there you go. That could help us figure out the next step for them. And most importantly, again, I need to formulate the relationship with you to see the world through your eyes, see what you've gone through, step into your shoes. So I'm going to spotlight on my first client. He's out of the Middle East, and he had a domain, but didn't have any context. He had a slogan, and that was pretty much about it. And what he needed was he wanted to kind of tap into the Western market. And what I did was I basically just sat down with him and said, hey, let me get to know you. I am not an automotive tech industry expert by any means necessary, but I do have a background in journalism. So I was kind of able to bring that research into life, see what he needed. And I realized that he wasn't even selling the one thing that he does best, which is customizable car engines. And he's the only one in his country to do so. He's now one of the top sellers and even works with the royal family. So what we did was just craft his two websites and formulated those together. And that took maybe two WhatsApp sessions, and we were good to go. And I basically just did that through like a Q&A, and then out of every context that he had, which is very minimal, made social media and formulated kind of a story, and then was able to craft his website content out of that. My next client is out of Charleston, South Carolina. When she came to me, she had two motives, and that was to promote autism awareness in the Latin community and generate additional income so she didn't have to work 3 jobs. And what we did instead was I just sat down in her kitchen as she's making candles, and I did basically an interview. And out of that, even though we didn't do any context, I just formulated her narrative, her business bio. And then we decided to do it in Spanish for the website and did a little candle giveaway. And the cool thing was that people from other countries saw it and were able to kind of reach out to her and relate to her and her story. And she is now one of the top Latin Etsy sellers in the country. In which she was also she was kind of scared to do social media presence. And so I kind of sat down with her and showed her ways to make videos and how to really bring the candles to life in a way that people could really see them. And so now she's a whiz at everything. It's a little bit about my story. Again, I did music journalism for about over 10 years. Helped formulate the first photojournalistic music publication here in Charleston. I worked with mostly musicians and festivals. But I realized in college, as I was doing art management, specifically music business, that a lot of creatives do not like to do the mundane task of managing themselves. And so I wanted to come up with a way that would help them with press releases and also just share their story, because again, narration is kind of my niche. So I started this blog, which is now the full writing service of VeraNation. So it started out as a humble music blog, and I was able to kind of share their stories and sell press release statements, EPKs, things like that they need to be successful. And it wasn't until I had the opportunity to go abroad and attend a BNI chapter that I realized that I have more to offer in the terms of writing. And I realized that a lot of these people want to reach a Western market. So that's how I got my first client. And I was able to kind of sell the kind of business bio. That is what I do best. And I realized there's always a story in the numbers, and I just find that super fascinating. By the way, does anyone know what the original business of language is? Okay. It's actually Arabic. But now it's English, so that's where most of people want to tap into. Now, I have several strengths and Achilles heels, and technology is one of them. I am not the most tech savvy person, so anything that that's like, hey, this could help me in the next level, where it's self-promotion, social media, anything like that, or even just the next big writing tool, I'm all for it. But technology is definitely not my strong point. And my ideal audience would probably more be along the lines of people who are just starting out, like small business owners, or people who are just about to reach that next step, in the big step, and they just need that little extra push or little extra flair or something creative outside the box to get them to the next step. And I'm working on self-promotion. I'm not the biggest on social media for my part because I spend a lot of time helping others. But again, any kind of tool or any kind of resource like that, I am open ears for that. And this is where you can reach me.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, we're going to open up for Q&A for Abby.
So great presentation, Abby. This is Dawn.
Hi, Dawn.
So I have one initial question that's out of left field, but where'd the name come from, VeraNation?
Oh, thank you for asking. I don't get asked that enough. So Vera is kind of like a name that never got used in my birth certificate. So I just kind of combined it and made it my own. So it's still a part of me. And so it's kind of like my second middle name that never made it.
Okay. All right. And then my other question, well, I guess, let me give you some background. You were a journalist. I was a PR person forever. So one of the things that I was thinking about for you is you should try and join entrepreneur groups, small business communities, and you probably can find them on LinkedIn. And you should promote your expertise there, because I would tell you that I just came out of a meeting with a bunch of small business owners, and I'm sure that many of them could use your services. So that's the first and foremost thing. And I'm going to contact you after this because I think that we could probably help each other.
Okay, thank you so much.
Abby, could you stop sharing so we can see?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Abby. I'm sorry I couldn't turn on my camera this morning, but I really enjoy your presentation. I find your business is very interesting. It's actually a part of what I do. I'm in finance and insurance, but in order for me to expand my business, I have I set up a business that support me to work with foreign companies doing business in the United States. And I am in the even though I know this is not a sell pitch, but I really do enjoy your presentation and what you do for. I'm in the stage where I'm trying to expand the foreign company business, and we are getting together and then trying to put everything together, like the website, and it's been there since 2019, right before pandemic. But my question is, what is the best timing for our business to work with you? Is it right from the start, or do you want it will be better when you see some template of what we have already in the website? And yes,
That's a great question. I find that mostly it really just depends on the person and the business itself. Now, what I usually like to do is we have our own kind of first session, and then out of that, I will automatically have questions either formulated in my mind and ready to go and typed up and sent to you, and then we kind of go from there. You don't have to know everything, and you don't have to start from the beginning. It could be right in the middle, or it could be right when you're done. It's really up to you and where you want to go. But my vision is the context at what you want and already in the step that you're in. So you could be, done with something, but you just need that second pair of eyes, or you could be at the beginning or the middle and just need the help along the way. Either way.
I see. Okay, yeah, I will reach out to you, and then we can talk more on that as is working on this. But one thing it comes to my mind is that maybe you can reach out to more people in the in my field, because we learn about stories all the time, because it's very important for us to connect to the clients that we work with. So we always learning about how to tell stories, our own story, and we always say like a story is where you have a portion is up, down, up. Like this is the structure, the pattern, right? So yeah, so to expand your business, maybe you can reach out to that area too.
Thank you so much. And
And
I do enjoy combining the creative with the more business side, because I think those are two really important fuses. Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you, Abby.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, Shola. Hi,
Hi.
Abby, I have a question. When you craft the story, do you normally with the general audience in mind first, or more specific audience? Yeah, how do you navigate that?
That's a great question. I actually don't have a specific audience in mind at the beginning, because again, my goal is to share your story through your words first. And then once I start formulating it, then I have a better idea of how to word it to where people could understand and be more relatable. So it really kind of comes in the creative process. Unless you specifically say, this is the market I want to reach, then by all means, I'll go from that format.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. And Katie, we do need to connect, because I'm also a spoken word artist and had the pleasure of performing quite a few times in New York.
I actually have a question. So you say you do a lot of work with like storytelling. So how much of it is training your clients to tell their own stories, or is it that you kind of like do the copy? Because I was wondering, like it makes sense to kind of like get a package with like a lot of like website design and content and things like that. But then when it comes to like copy on social media posts, like that gets really like gritty. So I'm just curious, like how, like, do you train them so that they can write their own copy for like the little things, or is it just like all included in the package?
That's a great question. It's just, I actually haven't done any training. I've done very minimal in terms of consultation. However, it is a service I thought about offering. But usually when people come to me, they don't have time to learn how to write. They don't have time to add that extra skill. They're looking for someone who already knows how to do it and can be condensed and do it in a 24-hour to 48-hour time period. And usually, and the same with creatives, like, you know, because what happens is you can start, you have this idea and you want to write it down and you want to get it out there, but then when you realize it might not be concise and you need someone to hit all those single points, and you know, it's kind of like when you have something in your head and you're just trying to get it out, and then having that person that can understand that and what you're trying to portray, or even portray more than beyond what you think possible, is really kind of what I try to do or attempt to do as much as possible. But I'm actually open to the idea of having more of a coaching thing in the future, for sure. But again, a lot of people come to me, they have deadlines, they have things they need to reach, so they don't have time to understand that. Usually the people that I've actually done writing with are other poets, and that's pretty much it at this time.
Yeah, can you please put your link to your LinkedIn in the chat? Because I'd love to
Yeah.
connect with you about coming on my podcast. I'd love to invite you
Sure.
on.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, anyone also has any tips for Abby in terms of using technology to help her business, and in the areas also self-promotion, feel free to share. And also any additional questions for her.
Well, Abby, I would just suggest that you take a look at my LinkedIn, as well as my Instagram. I think that I have gotten really close to the art of self-promotion. Again, I started doing this for other people, so it was harder to promote my own business. But it's pretty much doing the same thing that you would do for people that would pay you for your services. You just have to get the courage and the confidence that you deserve to tell your story. And that's really where I came from. It just was, I was so used to doing it for others. It was hard to do it for myself. But just like if no one knows about them, then people can't support them. And it's the same adage for you. If no one knows you're out there existing, then they can't support you and purchase your services. So you have to think about that. And that is really what motivated me and got me going. In addition, I know earlier I told you to join entrepreneur groups, but I would tell you to go back and rejoin your journalist groups as well, because they're looking for people, they're looking for business stories to tell as well. So you are now a business story. You're actually showing how you are evolving from your first act, if you will, as a journalist, and taking those translatable and transferable skills to do something different. So that's a story right there. So again, like I said, I copied your information and I will follow up with you because I do think that there's some alignment between the two of you and I, and we could probably help each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And, and I think that's a good point that you bring back, is to always go back and reassess yourself. Easier said than done, of course, but, and this is what I love about being able to be on 1 Million Cups, is you get that opportunity to always be better, and even when doing spoken word, like it helps you with public speaking, it gets better every single time. So, and yeah, I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Awesome. Any additional questions or things you would like to share, anyone?
Yeah, I would like to share something.
Yes.
I mean, that's relating to what Abby did, which is a great job, the way she presented. There is two might when you go into business that we need to get over right from the beginning. The first one said that we don't do business with friends and family. Well, guess what? When you open business, who the people you go first? Friends and family. Now you have 1 month to talk to them. They're not going to sustain your business. They may support your business, no more than that. After 1 month, you need to be comfortable talking to stranger. If you're not comfortable talking to stranger, you don't have a business. And that's the thing that we need to learn, to be comfortable to talking to stranger, to anybody. Otherwise, you don't have a business.
Yeah, great advice. Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you, Chaim. Anybody else? Questions or things you would like to share? Okay. If not, we're going to move